Why the Hell Not podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Why the Hell Not podcast. I have Miles Torsky with me, aka HungryBoy. How's it going, man?
Good, are you?
Doing good. So tell the listeners a little about yourself when it comes to DJing, your background, where you started.
So I started DJing in 2009, I would say. That's when I first started. I downloaded Virtual DJ on my computer. My grandpa bought me a laptop for graduation, so that kind of tells you how old I am without telling you how old I am. I think I'm pretty old compared to other people.
Everyone
But-
I've had on so far has been DJing for like 3 years, and I'm
Yeah.
like, what the hell?
Exactly.
Should I have made it by now, or what's
Right.
going on here?
That's where I'm confused, why I haven't quote unquote made it yet. But the real thing for me, I feel like, is I just started doing the whole EDM thing like a couple years ago. I started doing I did like EDM. That was like what made me want to start DJing. I saw DJ Hyphy Crunk in LA. This was like I said, 2009, 2010. And they were playing like Dead Mouse, Ghosts and stuff. I was standing in line and I just didn't know what the hell was going on. And I was like, this is cool. I'm 17, but I'm about to get into an 18-year-old club right now, like stoked on that and not knowing what anything is at all. And then once I got in, I just saw the DJ like lit up, like with his hands up in the air, just like super stoked. And I was like, wow, this is... And that's when Melbourne Shuffle and like all that
Bounce was super big.
Yeah. And so
like old, like before Dioro was Dioro. He was like I think it was Tonic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And my friend Level Victor, he used to go to high school with Tonic.
Level, yeah,
Level,
Victor.
yeah.
I know Victor. Back from the Wasted Days.
Yeah, so I met Victor through, and that was how I first started DJing, was through my friend Martin Lights Off, and he's cousins to Victor. So that's how I ended up meeting him. And so, yeah, I learned a lot through Martin, through Lights Off. I would just go to his garage like pretty much every day and go and DJ in there. And he was really into house, and that's kind of what got me into more of the EDM stuff. And that was probably like 3 or 4 years in. But before that, I was doing like house parties, YG, like the shuffling stuff, jerk music, and like, like all the dancing, like Lil Jon, stuff like that.
I still DJ that stuff. I mean, just
Dude,
not
it's
as an artist. I just do it for like I'll DJ like fucking high school proms
Right,
and
exactly.
corporate events and
Dude,
stuff like
it
that.
gets you paid, so might as well, right?
It's like, dude, if you don't make it DJing, not saying you specifically, just like anyone listening, if you want to make money DJing, there's a bunch of money to be
There's
made.
a big market, definitely.
Doing corporate events, doing high school parties, weddings is huge. My cousin, he runs a DJing business specifically for weddings. He makes 6 figures a year.
Yeah. I used to DJ with this guy named DJ Fred. Most generic name ever, right? You wouldn't think. But dude lives in this humongous house, 3 stories in Riverside. And I used to go with him almost every weekend. He would do like a $5,000 to $6,000 wedding, pay me $100 to $200 to lift and move equipment for him. But that was what I got my foot in the door. Like I still like stole a bunch of like ideas and like cheats to like how he gets people on the dance floor and like things like that. Like there's this thing where he like gets a photographer to take a picture of the family, and then he plays that song "We Are Family," and he's like, "This is the first song as you as a family," and it's so cliche, but it works every single time. Like, and it just bangs. Like everybody's like, "Oh my god!" Like super stoked on it. So
That's one thing.
I still use it.
That there's a skill that you get from not playing music that you know, as an artist, when you go to a club, you know what genre you're playing.
Yeah, exactly.
You're playing one genre.
Right.
You
You
might
have to
go up and
fit
down
a certain
BPM,
mold,
but
yeah.
skills you get from corporate DJing and from
Open format.
open format DJing is reading the crowd, knowing how to draw the most amount of people onto the dance floor. And nice. What beer are you drinking? Is that
It's
Lagunitas?
Lagunitas.
Nice choice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a little $3 tall can. I think it's the most bang for your buck if you're trying to drink cheap
Trying to
and not drink
Oh,
shitty.
really? No,
though,
like,
at
I was
the
about to
same
say,
time.
like, come on.
Because it's like,
Four
yeah, you
Loko up
could
your
get like a
butt, you
Four
can't get drunker
Loko
than
or
that.
like a 211 Old English, for all my Moval homies.
But yeah, I gained an immense amount of confidence and skill from DJing corporate parties,
Dude.
that you don't get from the
Yeah.
club because you're kind of just fitting. I don't know.
What's it called? Like kitty corner?
Yeah, you're doing your own thing that you always do.
Yeah.
And you're gonna transition from this song to this song.
Right.
Dude, I got
You
confident
know it
just
works,
spinning out a
yeah.
track. I'll just spin one out. I mean, that got pretty big with
Right.
rhythm nowadays.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
just knowing how to go between genres, I would just different types of skills. I mean, mic work, of course.
Yeah.
But,
I mean,
so-
all of it. You need all of it because you can't just be standing up there with your head down. I mean,
unless
if
you make like god tier music,
or if you're
that you
like
just have,
Gesaffelstein or
Yeah.
something, dude. Like Gesaffelstein, like he just stands up there and smokes cigarettes the entire time.
that's his
doesn't say
thing though.
shit.
And like
But
flashes a
yeah.
black American flag. He's so
That's
fucking
it.
sick. I love
So,
Gesaffelstein.
But
He's
yeah,
one of my favorite
But
sets.
see, that's your thing though, or that's not your thing in particular. But that's the thing is that you need to find your thing, whatever it is that you are, that you want to push and that you want to be about. Then that's what you do, because that's what differentiates me from Gesaffelstein, or you from me, or whoever's listening from.
So do you
whoever
just
else
like
that's listening?
eat cheeseburgers when you play and like spray the crowd with ketchup?
No, I wish I had enough money to do that type of stuff. To be honest, I have dreams about these types of things where I'm like shooting like like potato cannons or like shirt cannons, but it's
Yeah.
like freaking hamburgers or like sloppy joes. Like sloppy joes is just like everybody's just disgusting. It's like imagine like the Coliseum or like Staples Center and it's just like completely covered in just like
You just
French
like
fries.
shower some like
Like
bunch
fuck
of
confetti.
privileged college
Excuse
girls
my
in like
language.
$500 dresses
Yeah.
with like mustard and ketchup.
Yeah, right, exactly. And that's I mean
like,
pick,
"What the
pick your side
fuck?"
and then we'll do a wall of death. Ketchup and mustard. The Burger Olympics.
So you're like the fast food Steve Aoki.
Yeah.
So how did you get Hungry Boy? Where did this come from?
That came I went through a lot of DJ names. Like I picked them myself and it's like picking your own nickname. It's like you can't be like the guy that walks onto the baseball field and be like, my name's Ace. They're like, nah, fuck that. Your name's Greasy Boy or something, like something like shitty. So like for the longest time I tried to make up all these cool names. Like I had like Kill the King and like, like I don't know, stuff like that's like really like abrasive. And I skate, I smoke weed, I hang out with friends, and like when I was younger I used to always show up to the skate spot with a bunch of snacks because I grew up in a really large family, 7 kids, so my parents always bought like the family packs, so we'd have like 50 bags of Famous Amos.
Like Costco was their friend.
Yeah, dude. And then so I would come to the skate sesh and have like 7 bags of cookies, and then they'd be like, oh, HungryBoys here, like, sup, dude? Like, they'd be all soaked on it. So it was more so like a nickname. And then when I started to DJ, it just made more sense for me to go with that. I was also called Sheepdog Torsky. I mean, it's my last name. But
Torsky is a pretty good drum and bass name.
I think so too. Here's the thing though, is I wanted to be DJ Torsky or just Torsky. But there's this Norwegian artist, his name's Bjorn Torsky. He's like super big, super duper big. And I'm kind of, I guess, savvy with internet searches and stuff like that. So I just searched it one day and I was like, yo, I can't like compete with this guy. He has like millions of searches on his name. So there's like no reason for me to even try.
That's one good thing to point out is make sure you look into your name that you're gonna invest a bunch of money and time into.
Before you
don't,
buy LLCs and make it all official.
I don't know, like spend money on cover art or
dude.
logo.
I have a story. My friend, he messaged me like super pissed off because he released his music on a Spotify and it released under a different artist's name because they had the same exact name. But he didn't check that before he had released it or anything. You know, just like you said, do your research before you go and invest into something. I mean, this is your job. This is your career. You should be taking it seriously. Like, at least in my opinion, if you want to do something with this, then you got to take it some type of seriously. Like, you can't completely mess around all the time. So
yeah, I mean, I think if you're ready to become serious, I think there's an appropriate time where you can go under a name that you know isn't going to be your final name.
Yeah, I agree.
And you can like mess around, especially when you're like kind of in the beginning of production and stuff like that.
Even like Clockwork. Clockwork is now RL Grime.
Yeah,
Dude,
there's a bunch of cases where it's like that.
And he was huge as Clockwork.
Yeah.
Here's a thing where like all you have to do is just like readjust and reproject yourself back into the spectrum. I don't know why I'm talking like that, but yeah, basically like I said, readjust and just kind of see exactly what it is that you want to do, because now that you have the platform to kind of push your agenda, just like the whole don'tkillme.com marshmallow thing. I'm pretty sure everybody knows now, but I don't know if that's like taboo to talk about it. But .com was awesome, but marshmallow is like freaking humongous, dude. And so much money and like the merchandise. Not so much with the music. I'm talking more so about the branding.
Did you hear about? Isn't Marshmallow supposed to be like 9 guys though?
I wouldn't doubt it.
.com just produces.
Yeah. And then .com is probably the one that's DJing live, but
I don't
it's
know.
probably
why wouldn't they switch it up?
Because here's the thing is all of those guys all graduated from what's it called? Damn it, what's that? The name of that school? Icon, yeah. They all graduated at the same time, like Keizo, Jaws, .com. So they're all buddies. So I'm pretty sure it's just like when me and my friends send project files back and forth and they add stuff to it or they boost this or they boost that and they're like, do you like this? Do you like that? I'm like, no, yes. And it's not necessarily that somebody's like doing the track for you, but everybody pitches in, and I'm pretty sure it makes sense to me why that would happen, especially something like Marshmallow.
And .com is already.
That's why there's so much money behind it, too. You know what I mean? Like there's so much.
Be like 5 places at once.
Well, that and there's 5 different bank accounts that are investing into this brand to push the agenda, and instead of just me by myself, like I'm my own manager, my own producer, my own booker, my own promoter, my own DJ, my own everything. If I had 7 or 8 other people on the team with me, then yeah, I could definitely, I wouldn't have to be here right now. I'd have my publicist doing this while I'm at home making the music. But I feel like this is important for me to put in time and effort here so that, I can do the other things and it makes sense.
It'd be super boring to talk to a publicist and not the artist.
Yeah, exactly.
I would hate that. I don't even know if I would do that.
They're like, let me text him and see what he says. Like, can we
He'd be like, I have this statement. I'm just going to keep repeating the statement if that's okay. What's my favorite color? Well, I was born in 1992. It's like, where do we go from there?
Exactly. Whack.
Well, so what genre do you produce?
Right now, I've been making a lot of drum and bass, just because I like to play, produce, and make everything. So if you come to one of my shows, then you would know that I'm kind of open format. I think that comes with the whole DJing hip hop and like house parties and things like that. So I would say more so my genre is like party cuts. A-Track says that his stuff is kind of like that too, to where it's like you don't know exactly what drop you're gonna get. Like the HungryBoys set is Moomba, it's drum and bass, it's house, it's trap, it's dubstep, it's whatever.
I would assume it's
whatever
very
I
like
feel.
festival friendly when it comes to like the bigger stages.
One of my friends told me that recently I got booked for Bass Cave, and they do a lot of like I would say like underground dubstep bass music, like
Wakan Festival or more like
yeah,
rhythm?
like Wakan or like something like
Oh, okay.
Troy
Do you know
Boy.
something?
No,
It's my friend CJ. Shout out CJ.
CJ. Yo, what's up, dude?
What's up, man? He
I know
he lives in
Joey.
San Clemente.
Joey Chef Boyer Beats.
Dude, that name sounds familiar. Is he
something
on
something would know Joey.
Oh, is he on the Lost Dogs
And
crew or
then-
something?
Well, he went to Icon too. I don't know if he went at the same time as him, but I know that they're like in the same spectrum. And Curie, Craig, he's
Pendleton?
a homie too. Yeah,
No way, you know
yeah,
Craig?
I know Craig.
Craig knows me.
Yeah, me, Craig, Laugh played that show, and Joey Chef Boyer Beats played that Bass Cave show.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean that's more like experimental trap, like
Yeah,
hybrid
yeah.
trap.
Exactly. I like to call it like Wook Trap. It's just like halftime, like, you know, Wubby, like you said, Lost Dogs, that type of stuff. But yeah, so I played that show, and I was the headliner. I don't like to like, you know, say that I'm the headliner because I don't like sounding like I'm full of myself or something like that. But I was the biggest name on the lineup. I played the headliner slot. But when I got off, my friend Brian that booked me, he was like, dude, he's like, that was like a festival set. That was like, he's like, I never seen somebody play like that hard. It's in like a small basement. We had like 50 people in there, but people were going insane like the entire time. And I think just because they weren't expecting it, because they're used to that Wook Trap stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it was a good crowd response. What's your favorite festival? Like, do you like? Oh, okay, dude.
I've gone
Rip Glen Helen
9 years,
Amphitheater.
9
dude.
years in a row, baby.
I went
Glen Helen.
2016 and 2014.
Yeah.
God, rip
Yeah.
that venue, dude. That was is one of the best venues for camping.
It was the first
Beautiful.
rave I snuck into. First campgrounds I snuck into.
First, so how many? Like, do you? Is
First
that,
time I
are
played,
you known to do
I
that?
played. No.
You sneak
no.
into things.
No, I don't. I did back then. That's a cool story though too. I went with my friend Nick, who also taught me a lot about DJing, and he's good at mixing through different genres and stuff. So I give him a lot of credit for how I can kind of switch through something quickly, because he has like a don't give a fuck attitude when he DJs. I think it's just because he gets really drunk sometimes and he doesn't give a fuck really, so he'll just spin it out. But when it comes in, it bangs. So either way, we were following his dad to Vegas, and we're driving by Glen Helen, and all the lights are lit up and shit, and we were like, yo, what's that? Like, and we got off the freeway and stopped following his dad. His dad called us like an hour and a half later. He's like, are you guys behind me? I haven't seen you. And we were like, we're not coming, Dad. And we were walking around the venue trying to figure out like a place to either hop the fence or like go under or something like that. My friend, I'm not going to say his name, he was out there, and he worked for Live Nation at the time. And he was standing at one of the pedestals, and he was like, you're lucky I have these 2 extra like comp tickets. And he was like, here, take them. And he gave me like, dude, how does it work out like that perfectly?
Wow.
Like gave us his 2 last comp tickets. We went into the show, and I was like, we're coming here every year after that. So then the next year we paid for our tickets, but we snuck into the camp. And then the time after that, I got comped because my sister met somebody that worked for Insomniac or something like that. And ever since then, I either like a lot of my friends, they played. Shade played Nocturnal, this last Nocturnal, and then a bunch of my friends played at the camp, like Joey Chef
You like the
Beats played.
silent disco?
Yeah, and then my friend Robin played. Robin Season. He played at the Art Car on Saturday, I think, or Sunday, Saturday. But that's what I think is cool though too. Is like when I first started DJing, I didn't know anybody. I like looked up to like Diplo, A-Track, Dylan Francis, like, and I was like, oh, like I gotta like become their friend, so like, you know, I could get like some type of opportunity. And now it's like I realize that the more like integrated that I get into the quote unquote scene, the more opportunities come just by like hanging out with people that are on my level instead of like trying to like be friends with like someone big to like, you know, get like up there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's
Kind of like
also
build like on our level together.
I think that's a great way. I mean, it's hard to it's a hard game to play. I mean, you have to like, if you're gonna like kick it with those guys, you gotta play it cool, but
Yeah.
somehow you still gotta get in the, you know, you don't want to seem like a person trying to look for a handout.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it's, a lot of people at that level,
It's a
they don't
tightrope,
wanna,
man.
Yeah, they don't want to. They don't want to hang out with you. You're just some
Exactly.
random person, you know.
Right.
So,
Well, and they treat you like that sometimes too.
oh,
I've
egos
played
in this
and
industry,
like
man.
opened for a lot of big name DJs, and some are nice, some aren't, and I wouldn't like base that on their character. Maybe they might have had a shit day, or like, you know, maybe they're getting bothered, or like, you know, maybe their release didn't go the way that they wanted it to. I've just always come to the conclusion of not to take it personally, and then that with anything in life, you know, altogether, it's just like, don't get mad if somebody gets mad at you, like, unless they're like, you did this to me, it's your fault, you know, then you're like, fuck off, like, leave me alone, you know.
Yeah. Do you have anything coming up, or if you don't really, what's kind of a 6-month strategy for HungryBoy?
Longevity is always what I try to plan on.
Can you go into specifics?
Yeah. Keep stuff up your sleeve. You don't want to give it to them all at the same time. I have probably like 34, 40, 50 projects that I feel like I could release, but I don't want to because I want to release them in certain ways at certain times with certain, you know, promotion.
Dude, I say this every fucking podcast, but it's so good to be patient with your
Yeah.
releases and give teasers out there and have more stuff in the bank than you have out.
Right.
So that's a great strategy. Do you have any like goals that you're like, I have to be at this spot by this time, maybe in a year or so? Do you have anything?
Do I have a timeline or a time frame? I do, but what I've been doing for myself lately, because I've been really stressed out the past couple months, because I was trying to hold myself to this standard that I felt like other people held me to. And for that, I felt like I could never keep up. So I was getting really stressed out about it. And at the last Nocturnal, I lost my phone. I didn't have it for like 2 weeks, and it was kind of like a breath of fresh air, because I didn't have to be on there and be posting 5 to 6 times a day to be upping my activity on Instagram, to be my interaction, and all this stuff stresses me the hell out. And I'm pretty sure it stresses other people out too, but they don't even really realize it, and they're all like pissed off and they don't know why. So,
Dude, the internet and technology has created amazing things and made us more connected.
right.
And is a great benefit to society, but there's also bad that comes with it. Dude, if I was not a DJ, podcast host,
Why?
event company,
No reason to be on
I
the
would
frickin'
not
social
be
media.
on social media.
Not
I
at
mean,
all.
it's hard.
Hurts
it's hard
my
on your
stomach,
mental
dude.
health. It's hard on society. It changes society. I mean,
Yeah.
how much has changed in the past 10 years because of internet and social media. It's also an amazing tool. But as a DJ, especially like you said, doing everything on your own,
Right.
it's a hustle.
Dude.
And
Yeah.
it can
I book
be-
my own shows. I message my own people. I submit my own releases. I make my own artwork. You know what I mean? Like, and it's
That's
just like a
my
million
personal
things all
goal.
the time.
Is like, I know that I'm in a good spot when I have someone doing all that social media stuff for me.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
That's the best.
I could still like think of the posts or create the content, but just when I have someone to really manage that
Right.
stuff for me. And I'm not talking about the podcast necessarily. I'm more talking about me personally as an artist.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard to have good content regularly. I mean,
Right.
even if you're doing stuff, playing clubs, what are you going to post the same photos of you in the same club at the same night 50
Yeah,
times because you have 50
exactly.
photos of it? No.
Right.
Social media it's definitely a grind. And there's people that make entire careers out of social media
Yeah,
now. There
exactly.
is like a science to it, and it's hard when
Yeah,
you're doing
dude.
it on your own with no information. I mean, you got to study. You got to do all that
Yeah.
stuff to get yourself propelled because,
If you're not using Google to find out these things, then you're way behind.
I mean, like it or not, social
Like-
media is here to stay, and you gotta ride
Use it
that
the
wave
right
and
way.
get good at it.
I know what time's to post. 10 a.m. on Monday. You know, like I literally
Write
have
this
like a
down.
cheat sheet thing, dude. Like, and all this stuff is easily at the tip of your fingerprint or fingers. Jesus Christ, why am I trying to add all this extra emphasis? Type it in and look up anything that you want to figure out, and it's there on Google. Stop asking people questions. Just Google it. Straight up, dude. Like, people ask me questions all the time. I'm like, have you Googled it yet? Like, that's my first. I'm sorry. I feel like an asshole saying that, but at the same time, it's like I look up things that I want to know, and I don't ask other people for information.
Sometimes people are looking for like just social interaction with,
I agree.
with people, but we're getting pretty late into this. You have any other last closing statements or shout outs you like to do out there?
To close off what I was saying, because I rant. I don't have a time. Don't compare yourself to other people's time frames. Everything will release when it's supposed to be released. And other than that, I hope everybody has a good day. And thank you so much if you made it this far. Eat something good. It's really important to nourish your body. I love you. Bye.
But also stay hungry, right?
Yeah.
My name's Brad Lux. This was HungryBoy.
Thanks.
This is the Why the Hell Not podcast. Have a good night, everyone.